All
You
right,
know
I
that?
want to get your thoughts real quick because this is a big, subject that people are talking about when we're discussing AI. It's getting rid of AI is replacing human jobs.
100%.
What is your take on that, and where do you think we're going with this? 10 years from now, where are we going to be 10 years from now? If you were to make a solid prediction, give me some examples.
I think this is going to lead to the biggest productivity boom in human history. So if you go back 200 years ago to the founding of the country, everyone worked as a farmer pretty much. You had something like 90% of the adult population worked in farms. And if you told those guys, hey, today, 200 years in the future, only 5% of the people are going to work on farms, they'd say, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. 85% of us are going to be unemployed. We're going to have nothing to do, right? There's just going to be nothing for any of us. And I think this is kind of the same thing with AI. If your job is filling out a form, if your job is answering the phone, if your job is taking one piece of data and taking it from one computer system and putting it into another computer system, you're going to be out of a job. You're going to need to do something else. But it's not like the height of productivity for people. There's other things people can do. There's creative things they can do. There's service jobs they can do. So it's going to change the type of work people do. Um, Anything that you can do on a computer, AI can already do better or will be able to do better in the next year or two. That's it. Hard stop. Anything on a computer, AI will be better than you.
Elon Musk was talking about how, I mean, eventually we're going to get to the point where people are going to have to get paid by the government, and they're just going to have to tax these mega corporations at such a high rate because there's going to be so many people not working. Do you see that happening?
I don't know. Again, I think the type of jobs are going to change. I think what people are doing is going to change. If we're in a society where you have a robot that can clean your home, cook you dinner, right, wash your clothes, put them away for you, and you have computer programs that can handle all of the tasks that you want to do online, and now you can go and do other pursuits that are more interesting to you, artistic pursuits, leisure, whatever it might be. Are we worse off as a society? So where I see this hitting the hardest, where it won't be evenly distributed, is the third world, right? All those call center jobs in India, Pakistan, the Philippines, places like that. A lot of those jobs are going away. My recommendation to anyone, if you're worried about losing your job, learn how to use AI. If you're one of the people who knows how to use these tools, you'll be much more valuable than the people who don't. You'll
Yeah,
be able
because
to
if,
do
if
10
you
times the work.
understand prompting, if you understand how to speak to AI and get it to do the things that you need it to do, you're the valuable one.
Absolutely. And if you don't know how to do it, ask AI to teach you, because it's literally, what are the best prompts to do this? Anything having to do with computers, the AI is spectacular. I mean, just spectacular. I set up some code. I'm not an engineer by trade. I ran businesses, I've ran sales teams, but I'm not an engineer. I was able to go and, set up things in Python where I'd never touched a line of Python code before, and be like, I'm getting this error. And it's like, oh, you got this error. Well, it must mean this. Here's some new code to handle that error. And boop, I put it in, and then it would run. Right. So, right now, if you just have ChatGPT and no coding experience, you can do as much as a senior engineer who's about average. Now, you're not going to be better than the best guy on earth, right? But you're going to be as good as the average engineer with 5 or 10 years of experience just using the tools. And companies have even said, we're finding that the junior engineers are now as good as the senior engineers because they're not afraid to use AI. They don't look at it like, if I use one of these tools, it's going to hurt me.
Well, again, I think it's just people think it's cheating. People don't realize. I mean, really, they think it's cheating. They're like, I'm not going to use AI because I got to use my own brain and I got to figure this out. Even though it's going to take me 3 years to figure it out, I got to figure it out on my own. Is it the human ego?
I don't know. This is like saying I'm not going to use a calculator, right? I want to do a math problem, and we're dealing with hundreds of figures, and they're all 7 digits long, and you want to calculate everything by hand. I mean, put it into a spreadsheet and do some formulas. It's the exact same thing.
So have you gotten criticism though at any point while you've been building this at all? Have like what's the biggest criticism that you've got because of what you've been building?
I think when you're starting a new business, you're fighting irrelevance. You're not fighting the criticism. The criticism comes a little bit later. I can tell you every business that I'm talking to is interested in AI, every single one. If they have more than 10 or 20 employees, they're saying, how can I use these tools? And I don't think you want to be late to this party. I think this is one where you want to be an early adopter. I have an AI group down in Miami, and every one of them says, yeah, I go into the business and we're looking at different things and we can figure out how to save them huge amounts of money in pretty much every single department by automating tasks that people are doing manually right now. And, manual means mistakes, delays, lags, problems. And it's the same thing with following up on leads. If you get 100 leads a day in, right, and to get those guys on the phone, you need to contact them 10 times on average, right? Well, you need to do 30,000 touch points in a month. Who has the time to do that? It's not that people are lazy and they don't follow up because they're lazy. It's because it's literally time prohibitive. And time is really the only finite resource that's out there. So, you can make your business more efficient by using these tools. And there's also something where if you follow up with people within an hour, your odds of turning that into a sale go up something along the lines of, 20x. So yeah,
Well,
if
it's
you're
wild
waiting 3,
because
5, 10 days to follow up, I mean, you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
yeah, I mean, it's just wild to me because again, I've been in sales for over 25 years, and I just remember, writing down in my little notepad, writing when I would prospect somebody because I'm in a recruiting business. We have a financial services organization, 1,500 licensed agents, and our job is to recruit and train and develop, and we work a lot in the warm market lead area and just through the recruiting and training and developing other people and it's wild, man. I mean, I used to sit down, I'd meet somebody, I'd write their name. I remember I used to always have my little Mont Blanc pin in my shirt. I'd have my pager. Of course I had my pager. I had my big Kyocera smartphone, right? I mean, I was always kind of an early adopter with technology and things like that. But I just remember, I'd write it down and then I'd maybe put it in the database later or whatever. And
Or maybe you didn't.
or maybe you didn't. Exactly. That's the point. It's like then I didn't, and then I forgot about the person. And then 3 months later, I'm
You're
like,
going through your sheets of paper on your desk trying to find it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so explain to me how this is going to help me if I'm in that situation. Because by the way, a lot of people are still there, by the way. So how does this help me? How does your company help me?
Well, I mean, the first thing we do is we automate everything. We make sure that everything gets off of sheets of paper and is an automated process. Where what I found is managing people, you can set up the process, right? And then you follow up with them a week or two later and you say, how many people have actually followed this process to a T? And the answer is almost none of them. And then you have to check on the stuff all the time. And, if you hire very smart people, it might be a little bit better. But, typically what you find is the problem is someone takes shortcuts because it takes a long time and they're trying to focus on revenue generating activities. If you're dealing with salespeople want to be making money, right? They want to be talking to top prospects so they can make money. They don't want to be doing busy work. They don't want to be sitting at the office till 8 o'clock at night, to spend the extra hour or two at the end of the day, putting everything they did during the day into their computer system. So this automates everything. It tracks everything. It makes sure that all the follow-up is done by the computer. So the high value work, you can focus all your time on that instead of doing the $10 an hour stuff.
That's powerful. That's powerful. And in your opinion, what is going to be the next breakthrough in AI or just technology in general?
I mean, I think in AI, to me, where we are with AI is kind of like when the internet came out. We're still on Mosaic. We're using 14.4 modems right now, where everything's, you're hearing that sound in the background as it's calling the computer and it's taking 5 minutes to load up an image, right? That's where we are with AI right now. As they increase the processing power, first off, we're going to see everything get fast. Everything's going to be almost instantaneous. It's going to be like a Google search that you click go and, as fast as your brain can comprehend, you have the answers there. So, I mean, that's going to come over the next couple of years. And then they're going to have very specialty curated databases for this stuff. So they'll have all the legal rules in a legal database by state, right? They'll have all the accounting rules. They'll have all these specialty databases that have curated information, because one of the big things with ChatGPT is it doesn't really think, right? It doesn't say, which source should I use? So Google, right? Google uses backlinks. That's how it tells, well, who should I trust? Let's trust the source that has, 1 million backlinks over the source that has 2, right? And that's how Google figures everything out. And then everyone tries to game it, right? And now it has a rating as well as the amount of backlinks you have as well to say what sources should we trust. Well, with AI, it has the same problem, except they haven't really solved it yet. So what people are doing is they're going to curate specialty databases to make sure that, hey, if I'm getting legal information from this, it's not going to just make something up. Because occasionally, because it's autocomplete, it'll just complete something that looks real but doesn't exist. So there's actually been a couple lawyers who have been disbarred because they just had ChatGPT write everything for them, and it just made up some legal cases, and everything looked fine, but it was wrong. And we would try to do it for a while with like phone numbers and stuff, add a person's email or phone number. And if it couldn't find the right source for it, it would just make something up. And it looked like an email or it looked like a phone number, but it didn't go to the right person. It didn't go anywhere. So the more you play with it, you realize it's not really intelligence. It's more autocomplete, at least at the moment. That might change in the next couple of years.
So what you're saying is there's going to be, so this whole technology is going to, like right now, people are building basically databases for, if you want the best legal ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, if you want the best legal advice, if you want the best, whatever lawyer that you
legal,
could possibly
medical, engineering, technical, whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to have all the best practices.
If you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. If you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.